Last night he was simply awesome, but it was a broken bat in the seventh inning that broke up a no-no as Jose Quintana cruised through a dangerous Boston lineup. In the end, his stellar performance and a home run by Keppinger have now put the White Sox in position for a South Side sweep against the Red Sox. This is the finale, Game 3, next. We are coming to you from the city beautiful Chicago, Illinois, where tonight Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball. It's Alex Rios, Adam Dunn, Paul Konerko on the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Dustin Pedroia, David Ortiz, and John Farrell's Boston Red Sox. Hi, everybody, and welcome. With Steve Stone, I'm Ken Harrelson. As we get set to bring you the finale of this three-game set. As you know, the Sox have taken the first two. They won the opener 6-4. Dylan Axelrod once again was good. Then last night, it was Jose Quintana. We won that ball game 3-1. But the gist of the whole thing, Stoney, is the fact that our pitching at home has been terrific.
The pitching in this series and the pitching at home overall has been great. And Dylan Axelrod gave up just a couple of runs against the lineup that came in third in the American League in offense. Dylan was changing speeds. He was doing everything right. And then the bullpen made it hold up as we won the first game. Addison Reed came on. He saved the first two, and that was the first game. Then Quintana was just brilliant with a no-hitter into the seventh inning. And then once again, the bullpen came on, highlighted by Addison Reed. But the big save probably came from Jesse Crain. With the bases loaded, Jesse came on. He struck out two to preserve, at that point, a 2-0 lead. It worked out very well for a 3-1 win. But overall, the pitching's been great.
Well, we got Lester, who for them was 6-0. And then tonight, we've got another guy who was 6-0.
We have Clay Buchholz tonight, and at 6-0, he's prepared to have the best year of his life. Last year, he was 11-8. This year, he's leading the American League in ERA, and he does it with a straight change, a big overhand curve, and a fastball, which is fairly underrated. This guy's a good pitcher. This year, his stuff has been overwhelming, and there's the matchup. Santiago coming on an emergency situation because Chris Sale's arm just isn't quite 100%, and they don't want to take a chance. So hopefully tonight we'll get to sweep the boys from Boston.
All right, sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
Sox Baseball on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all. AT&T Uverse. Visit att.com/freeyourtv. Rethink possible. And by Ford. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com.
Welcome back to U.S. Cellular Field on a beautiful night. 72 degrees. It was raining all day, but no rain in evidence here as our Sox take on their Sox. Boston, a game and a half out of first place, and our Sox 5 games out of first place as John Farrell looks on. His team, losers of a road series for only the second time all year. Let's take a look at how John Farrell's going to line up his Red Sox tonight. It's going to be Jacoby Ellsbury leading it off, and it's Gomes, Pedroia, who's fourth in the AL in hits, with Ortiz, Napoli, Nava, Middlebrooks, Drew, and Saltalamacchia. The defense, an out-and-out lineup behind Santiago left to right. It's Viciedo, Diaz, and Rios in the infield. Gillespie, Ramirez, Keppinger, and Konerko. Tyler Flowers behind the plate. And our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Hector Santiago. His ERA terrific. His record 1-2. He is starting on 3 days rest. Hopefully the stuff will be good tonight. So we're ready to play baseball. I'm ready to throw it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
All right, Stoney, thank you and welcome to White Sox baseball right over Comcast Sportsnet. So happy you could join us for the finale of this 3-game set and the third of this 8-game homestand. 3 with these guys, 3 with the Marlins, and 2 with the Cubs. So here's Jacoby Ellsbury hitting at .242, a homer. He's driven in 14. He is 1 for 7 in the series. And the first pitch of the ball game. Taken for a strike. And let's check out the men in blue tonight. On the plate, Mike DeMuro. Ted Barrett, crew chief, he's at first. Marquez at second. And Conroy at third. There's a strike. Red Sox come in hitting at .262 as a club with a 3.83 team ERA. 14-9 on the road, 13-10 at home. Softly hit, knocked down with that bare hand.
There is no doubt that Santiago is a terrific athlete. Now, it's not recommended that you try to knock the ball down with your throwing hand, but if the ball is not hit hard, it's a natural tendency to try to do it. This ball bounded up. This would have been a very tough play for Keppinger at second because of the speed of Ellsbury.
He wasn't going to make the play.
No.
And the only thing he can do is if he got him right at the bottom of the thumb. You've had it before, a bone bruise there, and it's not fun. Every baseball player has had that one.
No, because they last a long time.
That'll bring up the left fielder, Johnny Gomes, hitting at .183. A couple of homers. He's driven in 9.
You can hardly pitch Gomes any better than Quintana pitched him last night. When he went to get him, he threw high fastballs right by him, and Gomes just swung right through it.
Well, I was talking with Jerry Remy, one of the Red Sox broadcasters, prior to the game last evening. And I told him, he asked me about Quintana. I said, well, if he's got his cutter going, I said, you guys are in trouble.
He did, and his fastball was as crisp as we've seen it in a long time.
Yeah. Seems like the older he gets, the harder he's throwing.
Well, he appears to be bigger, and I know he's stronger. He really dedicated himself this offseason. Yeah. So he's become a pretty strong guy with a consistent 93-mile-an-hour fastball.
Gomes just underneath that one. Off day tomorrow. And the weather is supposed to turn a little chilly tomorrow. Upset hit him. So with a 1-2 count, he did not even make an effort. Got to take that ball out of play. Johnny Gomes is a tough guy, hard man.
Actually, he just waited there for the ball to hit him because that ball appeared to be about 3-4 inches inside, and Gomes realizing that with Pedroia and Ortiz and Napoli coming up, his job is to get on base. He did just that.
So here's Dustin at 333 at an 11-game. Check that, a 12-game hitting streak snapped last night. One of the most fun players in the American League to watch.
You were a general manager, and consequently, you had scouts who went out, scouted players. Would you look at the size of a guy like Pedroia and say, I don't think we're going to take him?
Not at all. They come in all sizes and shapes in this game. You know that.
So it wouldn't have mattered at all that he was even. I mean, in college, he was a very small guy.
The way he plays, he'd have been high on your list.
Oh, he plays hard.
Yes, he does. And he's one of, if not the best, high fastball hitter in the league. 2-1 to count.
Reason why Santiago able to go on 3 days rest, he didn't survive the 4th inning against the Angels. So hopefully tonight the stuff is a little bit better. Looking for a ground ball off the bat of Pedroia.
That ball hit into left field. Deep. And it's off the wall. Gomes. He got hit by the pitch. He's at third, and Pedroia at second.
When you miss with a screwball, and that one was up a little bit higher, the tendency is to go a long way. That ball went 330 feet from home plate, just barely stayed in the park.
So here's Ortiz, David, at 349, 7 homers and 29. Now, in this game of baseball, I'd rather have a guy who was smaller than the average than a guy who was way taller than the average height. You know, position players.
You shorten that strike zone, and you've got to come into Pedroia, because you're not going to get the high strike against him.
Breaking ball strike. No, he's going to hit the high strike.
Yeah, that he is. But he's done that since coming into the league.
Pokes that one into left field, and that's going to fall for a base hit. Pedroia reading it perfectly. He's going to score, and it's quickly 2-0 Boston.
RBIs 30 and 31 for Ortiz. He just reaches out. He's got great plate coverage. Hits it off the end of the bat. And the big man, well, you have to respect his power. So you play him deep, and he just lollipops it into left field. And it's quickly 2-zip.
And here's Mike Napoli. Hitting at 260, 7 homers, 35 driven in. And the count 2-0. Last time out, Hector had problems throwing strikes.
That's the last start against the Angels on Saturday. The 4 walks pretty much did him in.
And the count 3-0.
Nava in the on-deck circle. He'll hit from his weak side, which is the right side.
That didn't take long.
And Don Cooper is now going to take a walk to the mound. Because the last thing you want to do, even with the off day tomorrow, is to get into that bullpen early.
Well, just watching him in that game, we did not do that game. But I was watching him from my room on TV. He just was not finishing off the pitch. He was throwing straight up and not finishing off.
What it appears is that the screwball that was so good in his early starts now has lost that late movement. And when you have a pitch like that, if it moves gradually, real easy for the hitter to follow it. It's that late darting motion that makes it so effective. Without that, he's going to have some problems, because tonight, at least, the velocity on his fastball is down.
Well, you know yourself, when you don't finish off the pitch, you got a tendency to leave things up. And that's what he did in his last start.
And that's what he's started out doing here.
So here's Nava. Daniel at 289, 6 homers, 27 driven in. Takes the strike. 2 in, 2 on, 1 out. Top of the first inning. Count evens at 1. And the count. Well, when you're walking guys, that's one thing, and that's bad enough in itself. But usually when you're walking guys, you're also 2-0, 3-1, 3-2 on hitters, which is compounding the mistake.
I think the big problem he has tonight is that I don't think he's trusting his stuff, because that fastball is 89, 90 miles an hour instead of his normal 94. So he knows that that arm isn't quite there yet.
That's a pretty good pitch. He didn't get it.
This one had the zone, but he's been everywhere. And because of that, Mike DeMuro didn't give him the benefit of the call. Middlebrooks in the on-deck circle. He's got good power, but that batting average has been way down this year.
Goes through that one. That one at 91. And a full count.
Fastball up. Had the top part of the zone, and he threw it by him.
Outfield straight up, about equidistant. And the 3-2 pitch. There go the runners. Where there goes Ortiz. He's going to pick up his first stolen base of the year. He got a Lance Johnson jump.
They credit David Ortiz with a good piece of base running, because Santiago never looked back at him, so he just took off. That fastball right on the inside corner. Good pitch, but he gave up 90 feet to Ortiz.
Well, that's his first stolen base since June 11th, 2011.
That's because most pitchers look at him. Or he's getting a lot faster.
So Middlebrooks.
And Hawk has said it many times, you don't have to be fast to be a good base runner. And there's an example. Ortiz picked up the fact that Hector was not looking back a second time. Just took off.
There's a screwball. You know, as long as you and I have been around, one of the things, sure, stolen bases are going to win you some ball games. Some guys who steal 30 or 40 or 50 of them, they're going to win some ball games for you. But the guys who will steal 15 or 16, who are sneaky and steal them, those are the ones that really hurt you.
We got one on our team who doesn't steal bases now, but did when he came in. That was Adam Dunn. Adam Dunn used to steal bases when they really hurt you. He didn't steal many, but you'd forget about him. Next thing you know, he's on second base and he'd score the run. Johnny Bench was very similar.
Or you double with 1 out, and first thing you know, you just give him one look, and now he's standing on third. He gone. But they come up with a pair, and after having a play, it's their guys too, and our guy is coming to bat.
Leading it off, then Ramirez hitting second with Alex Rios, who has his all-time best hitting streak on the line. Then it's Dunn, Konerko, Viciedo, Gillespie, Keppinger, who the last 7 games has been turning it up, and Tyler Flowers rounding it out. The defense and how they'll line up behind Buchholz. Gomes, Ellsbury, and Nava left to right with Middlebrooks, Drew, Pedroia, and Napoli. Jared Saltalamacchia behind the plate, and our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Clay Buchholz. On for his 10th start of the year. The ERA leading the American League. 69 strikeouts and 65 2/3 innings. His best year was 17-7. He is certainly on pace to better that. He's got just about every pitch you'd want to see. A slider and a curveball. The curveball probably better. He has a very good straight change, and that's what makes him so deceptive.
And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours. Yes, here's Alejandro. Takes first pitch strike. He has terrific movement. Wow. It's hard for him to throw anything straight.
Well, you can watch him sometimes to a left-hand hitter, and that ball is going to move a good foot away from them.
Back through the middle and into center field. A good way to start. And when a guy's got good movement, that is exactly the way you should approach it. Back through the middle, back through the middle, back through the middle.
And one factor might very well be that he spent a great deal of time after walking in from the bullpen sitting on the bench. Because he came in well before the first pitch. It was a very long first inning. So now let's see if the offense can take advantage of what perhaps is a guy that sat around a little longer than he'd like.
Here's Alexei hitting at 285. He's been swinging about well, but he's only 3 for 12 against Buchholz. Plays 28 years old, 6'3", 190 pounds.
Good quick move to first base.
Yeah, he's pretty good over there.
Alejandro in well ahead of the tag.
With the quickness of his feet, and he had a little short delivery, he would really be good. He still long arms a little bit, even though he's got terrific.
He's got quick feet, yet a slow delivery to first base.
Yeah.
It'll be tough for him to pick anybody off.
Takes first pitch strike.
I think if you can get a decent enough lead, you can steal off this combination, because Buchholz not the fastest to home plate, and Saltalamacchia has a long, slow delivery when he goes to throw to second.
Lays off that one. So the count evens at 1.
Buchholz was the 42nd pick overall in 2005 draft. Was a supplemental pick and the third the Red Sox had that year in the first 42. The only thing that's ever really plagued him, as you can see, 20 over 500, which is remarkable between Lester and Buchholz. They've both been great. He's had periodic back problems.
And that is Souvenir. No, Buchholz. His first job was waiting tables at a Mexican restaurant called Crazy Jose's.
Before he's done, he'll be able to own a chain of them if he'd like.
Yeah. Yeah, that movement he's got. There he goes. He gone.
That was a good throw by Saltalamacchia. And Alejandro out by plenty. He doesn't get a great jump. Best throw of the series by Salty, and he's got him out easily.
Well, you phrased it right. He did not get a good jump, and the reason being Buchholz threw over there was a good move. If you're going to steal on him and you're unsure, you're better off even not going, or you go on first move. You don't try to get a good jump. You go on first move. Roll the dice with him. Full count.
Alex Rios putting together just a magnificent season.
And there's ball 4. And right now, let's check out our Farmers Insurance picks to click tonight. Jim Angio, our director and crew, well, they went with Alexei. Stevie's going with Viciato, and Bert Coghill of Silver Lakes Golf Club in Orland Park. Bert and I are going to go with Adam Dunn. Adam, who is on deck. And here's Alex. 16-game hitting streak, hitting at .306, 10 homers and 26 knocked in.
300 doubles for a career is a lot of them. That's what he was able to do last night. And that double was a big one because it drove home Ramirez. It drove home the third run of the game, giving the ball club a 2-run lead. For Addison Reed had some margin for error.
Well, he's been our stallion this year.
Yep.
And he was our stallion last year.
You take a look at the 16-game hitting streak, and what he's done is up close to 400. 13 driven in and 13 scored. That's a lot of production over 16 games.
Blocked nicely by Jared.
This is a changeup. And Saltalamacchia brings his elbows in and tilts his body, which is really the key on a pitch in the dirt. You bring your elbows in, you tilt your body forward, the ball just rolls out in front of you and there's no advance.
And that breaking ball.
Well, Buchholz is having some problems, and it could very well be the length of time.
I was getting ready to say, you hit it on the bench. Talked about it earlier. Yeah, that could very well be.
Because he walked in well before the game started and then just sat around.
And there, back-to-back walks.
He's faced 3 hitters. He has yet to retire any of them. Saltalamacchia retired Diaza. And now the big man with an opportunity. There is Juan Nieves, formerly our bullpen coach, currently their pitching coach. And he's very good now, and he's going to be exceptional. Talking to John Farrell about him, they played with one another in Puerto Rico. They were teammates. That's how he knew Nieves. And he knew, number 1, he was a good guy. Number 2, he had the respect of fellow players. Now he has the respect of all of the pitchers, which is of vital importance. And they also like him, which is a good thing.
So here's Adam. He's 0 for 3 lifetime off Buchholz. 1 for 7 in the series, but it was a big one. Got us off to a good start in this series with a 3-run homer. It was off John Lester in his first inning. Well, the players, if you're a pitching coach or a hitting coach, and you bring your philosophy into the ball club, they've got to buy into it. If they don't, you're in trouble.
I think they've probably done just that, especially Lester and Buchholz.
Well, the 3 guys who are starting against us in this series, Lester, and then Felix Dubronc last night, and Buchholz, 15-1 coming in.
And fortunately 0-2 in this series. But that being said, last year Lester was completely out of sorts motion-wise. Buchholz a little less so, but neither of them had what you would consider even real good years for their ability level.
There's the strike. Well, Dubronc pitched a good ball game last night.
He's got a very good arm.
Yeah, he does.
And he's got a terrific curveball. We certainly didn't exactly tattoo him in that one.
No.
Took almost a no-hitter to beat him.
There's that changeup. 1 out. 2 out, excuse that. They threw out Diaz at second.
Good changeup. That ball just dying away from Dunn.
Yeah, before Bert Coghill and I picked at him, you don't necessarily want to go with a left-handed hitter against a right-hander with a good changeup.
Well, that time a couple of changeups in the at-bat weren't to Adams' liking.
First pitch strike to Pauly.
I'm talking with Joe McEwing about which outfielder that he would fear as far as throwing the baseball. He said he's on the bench. Shane Victorino. He said we will run on all the others.
Two on, 2 out. Pauly with a good pass at that one into one of the suites. Caught. Nice play.
Buchholz got that fastball up there at 95.
Good eye.
Our Menards pitch tracks will show you that this ball is close but off the plate.
Pick him up, Paulie. Good speed on the pass. Another good eye.
That one right over the top of the pitch before. See where 5 appears? It's right over 4. And he misses again.
Twainer right here will tie it up.
And just by taking a look at Ellsbury, who shaded over in the right center, you could tell that he was going to stay away the majority of the at-bat, which he has done with each and every pitch.
And the payoff. That ball hit hard. Get down. Hit Walt. Nice play by Johnny Gomes. That's a hang whooping for Konerko. And after 1, we trail it 2-0. And then you got some news for us about Chris Sale.
Yeah, well, as you guys can probably imagine, since last night when the White Sox announced Chris Sale would be scratched today, that it's been the hot topic with the media. But Robin Ventura was very adamant today that this is a team decision to sit Chris Sale. They saw some signs they didn't like. Obviously, he wasn't able to make his bullpen session in between starts here. He wasn't able to play long toss, and they were a little worried. Obviously, it's a guy that they just invested $32 million into, and they wanted to kind of set him aside and let him rest this out and not push things. And obviously, Chris really did want to make the start, but they thought it was best in his best interest to not.
Well, Chris is the kind of guy that Steve and I have seen many of those guys in our careers that you got to put a rein on him. You got to throw a rope on him.
You know, at this point, I mean, he's only made 9 starts, but he's averaged over 7 innings a start. And it's not like he's made a ton of pitches in those starts. I think he's only gone over 110 3 times. Actually pretty efficient with 104 pitches per start. So it's not like they're going out there and using up 120, 125 pitches. Good number. It's just, you know, they see this sign and they said, let's dial it back.
Well, it's also different than last year. Last year, what set him back was a little bit of an elbow twinge. This year, it's something in the shoulder. And because he throws across his body, you're going to have these little things that come up. And also, he throws a big, quick, hard-breaking slider to go with that fastball, again, that he throws across his body. And occasionally, you become your own worst enemy. So I think what the Sox did was right with him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've talked about the fact that they're going to probably keep an eye on him just throughout because, I mean, you gave him $32 million. You want to be your guy for a long time. And that's a big investment, and he pushes himself. He wants to be out there at all times, and I think that, I mean, for them to step in when he communicates something's a little off, that's the right decision.
Well, our pitching at home has been very good, especially from our starters.
Yeah, absolutely. I think team came in tonight with a 346 ER from the starters. It's been a strong suit for sure, and Chris Sale and Jake Peavy have certainly led the way there.
Well, we're also looking forward to Johnny Danks coming back, and also Gordon Beckham.
I think Gordon, that's going to be pitcher's best friend. That range to the left of, behind Konerko or Dunn, whoever is at first, is, it's very hard to replace.
It is. Dan, as always, thanks for the info, buddy. Dan Hayesum, CNCChicago.com. So Drew strikes out. That is 3 in a row punched out by Hector. And ever since Coop went out there, he's been throwing some strikes. And that's foul back right underneath us.
Sometimes a pitching coach can take a look. You might have one mechanical flaw or something that you're doing a little bit different than you did last time, and the pitching coach will tell you what it is, and it works. And in this case, seemingly it's worked wonders, because after the Napoli walk, nobody's touched the ball. And you're already down 2-0 to one of the league's best, so you can't afford to get down any further.
Jared Saltalamacchia hitting at .265, 5 homers. One of those coming in game 1 of the series. Bottom of the 4th in Cleveland. Tigers leading the Indians 6-2. Verlander against Ubaldo Jimenez. He gone.
Time now for our Firestone Complete Auto Care Extra Mile Index, and it is the starting pitcher's ERA. It's on top of the Yankees, Rangers, Tigers, and Red Sox. Overall 6th in Major League Baseball, but when you're 346 for your starters with a designated hitter in the American League, you're getting the job done.
Here's Ellsbury. He had a little soft comebacker off the end of the bat that, with his bare hand, Hector knocked it down, picked it up, and threw him out.
If he doesn't make that play, it's going to be a big first inning.
And there's trouble. A good speed aboard. He is 13 for 15 in that category.
Even if Alexei gets this one, he's not going to be able to throw out Ellsbury. He's still trying to find that stroke. He gets on top. His offense will score a whole lot of runs. But fortunately, 2 outs in the inning.
We're going to show you one reason that Ellsbury can get down that line so well. A lot of guys do it, so it's not anything that's special, so to speak. But a lot of guys on the other side of that page do not do it. Now watch both his feet after this swing. Watch both his feet. See how they both come off the ground, the little thing. He doesn't keep that back foot planted and go with a step with his right foot, his lead foot. Both those feet come off the ground, and that gives him more impetus to go. So he picks up another half a step.
I wonder if that has anything to do with the fact that he's not hitting the ball out of the ballpark.
Well, in that swing, sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, that swing. Yeah, that was a pitch he's not going to do anything with. And as you say, even if Alexei's gun comes up with it, he's not going to throw him out. But Gomes is high, and that is a can of corn with our man standing right at the edge of the track, and that'll retire the side after an inning and a half. 2-0 Carmines. Robin Ventura and Addison Reed joined White Sox legend Billy Pierce at the Ann and Robert H. Lurie Children's Hospital. There they visited with patients and unveiled 3 new infusion rooms, one of which is now named after Pierce for all his support of the hospital through Chicago Baseball Cancer Charities. And Billy's just done a wonderful job with Chicago Baseball Cancer Charities. The patients were thrilled to see these members of the White Sox, but Addison and Robin probably enjoyed that visit more than they did. There's strike 1 to Tanks. Tanks at 302, 4 homers. He's driven in 13.
Having known Billy all of these years, he is a wonderful man.
Oh, yeah. Billy's terrific. Boy, he has really done a lot of work for cancer in children. When I was in Boston, the guy who probably did more work for cancer in children was Bobby Orr.
That's just great.
Bobby was he is a wonderful guy. He used to go to Children's Hospital there, a famous hospital in Boston, Boston Children's Hospital. Every time they were home, he'd go up there at least once a week. Nobody knew about it. He didn't want any notoriety, publicity for it. Chops that one foul.
Whose idea originally was the Jimmy Fund?
Ted Williams.
He started the Jimmy Fund?
He had an accountant named, it was either Tom or Paul Brophy. Okay? And here's what Ted used to do, especially when they first started the Jimmy Fund. Ted loved kids. Loved them. And he was making more money than anybody in the big leagues. And he would tell Brophy after every contract signing, he said, I think it was Paul. He said, Paul, take me out enough money to live on and give the rest to the kids.
That started essentially the Jimmy Fund.
Yeah. Yeah. Take me out enough to live on and give the rest to the kids.
That's great.
There's a chopper to Hopper. Drew with a nice throw. 1 out. Of course, Ted later on was making a ton of money in Orange Grove, was down in Florida. A few more motels. And of course, he had that huge contract, sports equipment contract with Sears. When they had an exhibition, sporting exhibition up there at the Prudential Center, and Ted was an avid fisherman.
That I know.
And they put a huge tank in there. It must have been, I don't know, let me see, about 60 feet across and 60 feet. Yeah, that was about the size of it. And they put some circles out there. So I was supposed to go against Ted in this fly fishing contest to see who could get in the circles. Well, before I could even hit the water with one, he already had all 3 of them filled up. I couldn't hit the tank. I was hitting myself in the back shirt because I'd never done it before.
It could be dangerous if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, I went out to Old Baldy after I retired from baseball. Bob Toski went out to see him for 2 weeks. He was going to help me. We went trout fishing. In my first cast, I got him right in the back of the ear. That has popped up. Now, Ellsbury picks it up. He didn't pick it up at first. It's that time of the evening. So Gillespie is down. 2 out.
That's where your middle infielders have to help you. They got to let you know that the ball's in the air and approximately where it is. And so Drew and Pedroia both ran out, thinking that if Ellsbury never picks it up, at least they'd have a shot at it.
So here's Keppinger. Big 2-run homer last night. Put us on top 2-0.
First ball fastball. Andrew Brandt made very few mistakes. This was one of them.
That's a pretty good curveball right there. That'll get your attention.
He's just starting to throw it because he did not feature it in that first inning. But when he gets that over, you can pretty much forget about it.
Well, you said it in between innings because he sat over there so long with the long top half of the first.
Yeah, we had a shot.
We had a shot at him, and we didn't take advantage of it.
Well, Paul hit the ball awfully hard, but unfortunately, it was right at Gomes, who made a nice play, taking it off the grass. Or that could have been a tie ball game easily.
3-hopper. And that did not take long. We'll go to the third, trailing 2-0.
Miller time later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Here's Pedroia. With 1 out, Gomes was hit by a pitch in the first inning, if you're just joining us, and then Pedroia hit a high fly ball. Looked like it was going to go out of here, but it hit off the left field fence, went for a double, and that caused a lot of problems. Led to 2 Boston runs as he takes first pitch strike. Pedroia. Quite a career for a guy listed at 5'7".
That might be a bit optimistic.
Yeah. Yes, it is. It's out of play. Well, he was Rookie of the Year. He's got one of those trophies on his mantle. And he also has an MVP trophy. He was 2007 Rookie of the Year. That's chop foul. And in 2008 won the MVP, and he was a first second baseman, American League second baseman, to win the AL MVP since Nellie Fox did it back in 1959.
Pretty impressive year for a guy that leaves it all on the field each and every day. He's got a couple of very young children. Lives in Chandler, Arizona. And I talked with him about his family. He has them here in Chicago with him. He's able at this age to move the family around with him, which he really enjoys.
payout.
Ask about what it's like to have two kids as young as his are. He said, well, outside of getting very little sleep, he said it's absolutely wonderful.
And there's the dreaded leadoff walk. That's the third base on balls issued by Hector. And a reminder, ticket prices for the season are on sale right now. Prices have been greatly reduced for nearly all games, and the schedule is full of great matchups, promotional nights, family Sundays, and post-game fireworks. So 312-674-1000 or 866-SOX-GAME. Ortiz with a two-run single. Just one-handed it into left field right off the end of the bat. But he got the job done, knocking in a pair.
Well, he has shown us in this series that if you stay away from him, you're not going to have much luck. He's right on top of the plate with very good coverage and doesn't mind the ball 3-4 inches outside.
Pedroia 8 for 9 in stolen bases. All right, boys, take your time. You got plenty of it.
That's the pitch you were looking for because he threw a fastball right in on his hands. And he tied him up in a very easy 4-6-3. He throws it in there, even though Tyler Flowers, when he called it, wanted it away. Turned out to be a terrific pitch. That ball had the plate, and I know Santiago wanted it and didn't get the call from Mike Demura. Our Menards pitch tracks will show you that had a good portion of the plate.
Three and I would suggest he's hitting. Don't throw him a cookie.
He's their #1 run producer.
Pretty good pitch. He was hitting. But not on that one.
Now, because you get the green light doesn't mean you swing at everything. That ball is right on the outside corner.
Well, a lot of guys, when they look down there at third base coach and they see the hit sign, a lot of them think it's a 3-0 swing sign.
Just hit it if it comes. You're guessing fastball, so if you get one, let it go.
That was a good pitch hit. That at 93.
Now the fastball is starting to come back to him a little.
Detroit leading Cleveland 7-2, top of the fifth at Progressive Field. So the fourth walk of the game, second of this inning.
4 walks, 4 strikeouts, and a hit batsman. And what that does is it takes your pitch count and works it steadily straight up. It's about to deliver pitch number 65.
Certainly Robin would love to have quality, but he also needs some quantity tonight.
There's no doubt. He's got a bullpen that
While we have a moment, big White Sox hello and happy birthday to our buddy Rob. Two balls, two strikes, two out. Earlier, Atlanta.
Story. And the young
I can't wait to see that guy.
The young man has had some year.
2-0.
Blackhawks Red Wings playoff series. Get right to CSN for the Blackhawks post-game live. Break down the game and go live to Detroit to hear from the Blackhawks' biggest stars. Blackhawks post-game live presented by Hawk Ford tomorrow night right after Game 4 on Comcast Sportsnet.
2-3-0 for their guys. No runs, one hit, no errors for our guys. Here in the bottom of the third inning.
Mike Leary tells us that Game 4 is a must-win for the Hawks.
Lays off that 93-mile-an-hour fastball, says Ted Barrett. Tyler hitting at 198, 1 for 7 in the series. Curveball. Evens the count.
Unfortunately, he's starting to feel real good about that one.
And another hook.
First one 77, this one 79. Neither of them hittable. Tells you it's coming.
Sometimes that's not good enough if he gets it in a good. And he gets by, hits the side of the mound, kicks it over, and he's going to
camera well. But that's probably one that if Buchholz didn't fall off the mound, and either does Drew.
The only way Drew had a chance if it didn't hit the side of the mound is Alejandro, who singled, leading off the bottom of the first, right back through the middle. Tigers now leading Cleveland 9-2, bottom of the fifth. Makes the bunt, takes the ball.
I like Verlander's chances in that one.
Well, Cleveland came in with a 1.5 lead over Detroit. Outfield spread out a little bit, slightly to the left. And that pitch he had no chance on.
That ball was well inside off the plate. Good late movement. It was his fastball, but it acted like a cutter. 90 miles an hour. Pretty good.
Yeah, he had no chance on that one. It's going one or two places if he hits it off his knee.
And that wouldn't have been good.
Or dead foul. Comes back with a changeup. He's got a great motion. He might have the best motion we've seen yet from a right-hander with a changeup.
The wonderful thing about his motion is he's got a curveball, a cutter, fastball. He throws two types of fastballs, as a matter of fact. And you can't read it when he delivers a baseball. They all look the same.
No, this changeup he's got is awesome.
Tried to heat him up inside and just missed. Joe McEwing going through his set of signs. Those signs were not for Diaza. They were for Flowers. Career against our ball club, Buckholz has struggled, but last year he had a 1.13 ERA.
Indians just scored. It's a 9-3 ball game. Now Cleveland tomorrow will be taking on the Carmines in Boston. Big gap in right center. In a full count.
And we'll see. They fouled off some good ones. Minnesota Twins.
We'll read one back for part 2 later in the game, and it just might be yours. It's the Giants 2-1 at AT&T. Texas beat Oakland 3-1.
But he doesn't have a sacrifice this year.
Well, Alexei last year had trouble when he was asked to bunt. Earlier, he's been asked to bunt, had trouble with that. So Robbins said, well, you know.
Let him hit because of his last 10 games. At 395. Figure if he makes some contact, good things happen.
Not this time. They don't get him because of the bad give right there. Bad throw by Drew.
That one almost pulled Pedroia into the middle of the infield. That should have been a double play ball. So we'll get an extra out in the inning. And that one could come back to haunt him. You see Pedroia come down on the bag, but it's very awkward.
Broke the whole rhythm, that feed.
Did that. And Drew realizes that he just might have opened the door.
So here's Rios. He drew a walk also back in the first. We had him on the ropes in the first inning and let him go. That pitch outside. He's got the catbird seat. 2-0.
You had to look at a young fan in the background that came down to get a picture of Alex Rios hitting.
A doubt. Without
happily pitch.
Yeah.
You're getting one low and away. Not much you can do with it except that
Chase is a bad one.
Well out of the zone.
Big pitch right here, the payoff.
Impossible, so it's RBI number 27, and it cuts the lead in half.
Gust of wind in our sails. Curveball.
Saltalamacchia got crossed up. Second big boy. I'm looking for a fastball, and you dropped that one on me.
And there's the changeup.
After 94 upstairs, he gives him 83 downstairs.
Steve, I'm telling you, that's the best looking motion we have seen on a right-handed changeup all year.
It's impossible to pick up. You just have to hope that he leaves it up in the zone so you can double clutch and then hit it.
Usually from up here we can pick it up where you can't from 60 feet downstairs, and we got no chance up here. Got him, but we get a gift run right there, and we trail it 2-1. Well, he gave us a gift run right there, and we trail it now 2-1, 2-3.
At best, keep this pitch count to a minimum in this fourth inning.
2 calls.
After looking at a couple of screwballs, he went to a high fastball.
Yeah, you'd be very old. But the way you pitched, hey, I played with Satchel Paige, who hit it for a double, and the only reason he hit it was because he was going against Alex Johnson. These guys, they just cannot get up on top.
No, and that's I think, Huck, that's a product of...
He gone. 7 strikeouts.
And now really... top of just about anybody's high fastball. Very few hitters can do that.
This I have never seen in all the years I've been watching now. I have never seen fewer good high fastball hitters than there are right now. And if you know how to, if you knew how to pitch up back in my time zone, you could win. Early Wynn was a high fastball, high slider pitcher. Jim Palmer was a high fastball pitcher. Had a lot of high fastball pitchers who still won, but they knew how to pitch up. Today, you don't have any high fastball hitters. Dustin Pedroia is probably the best high fastball hitter in the American League. That exhibition you put on in that All-Star game was an 80?
Yep.
That was one of the greatest exhibitions I have ever seen of pitching up against. But this was against. He gone. Struck out the side. That's 8 strikeouts for him. We go to the bottom of the 4th, trailing 2-1. In New York, White Sox chairman, lasting influence in sports as owner of both the White Sox and the Bulls, serving as a respected leader and filling 7 world championships, and he's not done yet.
No, he said
The All-Star game and pitching up, the reason we're talking about it a lot is because there's just not any good high fastball hitters anymore.
Which is what you see pitchers do now when they get ahead of hitters. You throw a high fastball, then you get a lot of people out anyway, but that pitch nowadays is almost untouchable. Then he almost shot put it over to Pedroia.
Pitching up is bodes well for all you youngsters out there in high school and college who aspire to be a major league pitcher. If you can come up with a good change and learn how Steve was just describing, getting ahead of hitters and then pitching up, if you can do that, you do not have to be a hard thrower.
No, it doesn't have to be a big fastball. It helps if you have one, but it's not necessary because we're seeing guys overwhelmed at 90 miles an hour up and out of the zone.
I tell you, one of the greatest. I've seen a lot of great pitch games. Been called 13 no-hitters. I've seen a perfect game in Marksboro. One of the greatest pitch games I have ever seen was in the old ballpark, Comiskey Park, across the street. Scott McGregor.
Yeah. Great changeup.
Never hit 80. Threw a 3-hit shutout and struck out 10 of our guys, and 8 of them on high fastballs that never hit 80.
Scott was something. In fact, on that Oriole team that I played on, if we didn't have Mike Flanagan, who won the Cy Young Award in 1979, Scott McGregor probably would have gotten a whole lot more attention. He won 20 games in 1980. And, you know, Tommy John you kept hearing about. Of course, Flanagan was hurt that year, but he threw across his body and threw right around 80 miles an hour. And remember him pitching to Reggie Jackson, looked like he was throwing the invisible ball. Reggie swung through each and every fastball he threw him.
He said it right at first. He grunted and swung through. Just foul. Dadgummit. That's close.
Napoli coming off the line. just miss having the ball go behind him for a two-base hit. Whew. That was awfully close. Awfully close. And Ted Barrett says, foul ball.
That was not exactly the angle that we needed to make sure, but it was close.
You played first base, and you played it well. How far do you have to come off the bag when you got a left-hand hitter up and a right-hand pitcher?
Well,
when you were holding a guy?
I was one of those guys who just a little bit more because I was coming in. Guys who go back,
so you weren't going to get a bad hop.
Exactly. And I probably played. But one thing you don't see from first base. Jacoby Ellsbury is 1 for 2. Santiago has struck out the last 4. He has 8 strikeouts. All of them coming from the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th place hitters. None of those guys
there was no
hit the ball.
There's no contact. In fact, you can count Napoli in there because he's walked twice. No contact from 5 to 9.
Three and 0. No, don't walk him. Come back and get him. Make him hit his way on. A bad way to start the top of the 5th.
Don't miss a Friday night showdown right here at U.S. Cellular Field as the Sox and the Marlins do battle on Comcast Sportsnet. White Sox, Marlins, Friday night at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet.
Gomes was hit by a pitch, and that started off a 2-run first. Takes a strike. So Hector with 5 walks and 8 strikeouts.
Brian Omagrosso listening in the pen as that pitch count is awfully high. Just starting off the 5th inning.
Change up, suck it up, and take your time. Rack them up.
Big pitch, one of the bigger pitches in the ball game right there, especially with Pedroia and Ortiz coming up. Hard hit ball. Connor Gillespie playing off the line, wide of the bag, and makes it easy. And Don Cooper, I'm sure, talking it over with Robin about the pitch count, which will be at least in the low 90s.
And coming off, as you said earlier, just 3 days.
That used to be the norm. You'd get 3 days rest.
They had a period there for about a month and a half. White Sox pitchers worked on 2 days rest.
Stay loose.
Yeah. But White Sox pitchers in those days were the other team in baseball, maybe combined.
3-minute rotation, you had to.
The Payne Park there in Sarasota and play them. And they were, it seemed like for 4 or 5 innings they're going on his life.
Wilbur didn't run. He didn't run anywhere. Well, thank you, Art Chuck. And I got to tell you something. You against David Kaplan, it's like David bringing a knife to a gunfight.
Well, we're with you. Win or tie, buddy. As here is Keppinger. Curveball, no. Pretty good pitch, didn't get it. 2-3-0 for them, 1-3-0 for us.
Keppinger caught a break, and that one had the whole plate.
He's grounded out softly to short. Takes that. Count evens at 1.
The way that Santiago started his ball game, he's done a remarkable job keeping it at 2-0. I mean, remarkable.
Thinking the same thing. Under the circumstances, he has been outstanding. Coming off 3 days.
And not knowing he was going to pitch until Chris Sale was taken down.
Well, Axelrod and Santiago have been our 2 unsung heroes in this ball club. Slowly hit, barehanded by Middlebrooks. Throw is bad. Give him a hit.
Well, I'm not certain that he had to barehand that ball, but he did, and that made it very difficult to grasp. He turns it into a very tough play. When you consider that Jeff Keppinger can't run, I think it's a mistake.
He didn't have to barehand.
No, he did not. And it goes as a base hit.
Good.
And that's a tying run aboard.
In fact, there's 3 options on that. He could have backhanded, he could have caught it in front of him, or he could have grabbed it barehanded. And barehanded was the least of the 3. So
well, that time he got one, and he got it up in the zone.
Yeah, because that was ball 3. Now it's 2-2. That's when you know you're going bad, when you swing. Bottom of the 5th. Tigers leading 9-5. Top of the 6th in Houston. Astros leading Kansas City 2. Didn't we have a streak a couple of weeks ago where we had 3 or 4 or 5 games in a row, umpires calling the high strike?
They did. They had one crew. The entire crew called the high strike.
Yeah. And the count 2-0. Saltalamacchia wanted that pitch.
I can understand it. Saltalamacchia is still talking with Mike DeMuro. A lot of times what happens is he wanted it on the outside part of the plate, got it on the inside part of the plate, but it had the whole plate.
And there's a strike. That was pitch number 83 for Buchholz, which is a lot here, with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. So we're going to see that bullpen. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Off day tomorrow. And then the Marlins coming to town Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So make your plans to be with us here at the ballpark. We don't know who's going to be pitching for us on Friday. But for them, it'll be Tom Cola. On Saturday, Peavy, Jake Meister against Ricky Nolasco. And on Sunday, Dylan Axelrod against Alec Sanabia. Ate him up inside. They can't turn it. So the inning still alive and good speed aboard.
Keppinger with a good piece of base running because you don't want to run into a tag. So he just waits right there and lets Cron to first, and then they make the tag play at second.
Exactly right.
Especially if you just
be the second break we've caught. Or then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the Marlins, and then next Monday and Tuesday, the 27th, 20.
It's the Mariners in Seattle.
23. Shanks it over Mauer.
Well, you'd have to figure it's just a matter of true.
It
hasn't been that good.
We'll go to the sixth, trailing 2-1.
The high speed is how the Red Sox have been swinging and missing at Santiago's offerings tonight. It's been strikeout after strikeout after strikeout. It's all come from the bottom four in the order. And he's got 8 of them.
And he's got Ortiz at the plate, who had that 2-run single in the first and then hit into a 4-6-3 double play. Well, getting back to the Angel pitching, the best pitcher they get on the staff right now is Jerome Williams.
He's been surprisingly good and consistent for them.
Yeah. He won the game last night. C.J. Wilson won it tonight. But Jerome Williams has been the most consistent pitcher they've had. Starter.
And they got Weaver coming back in the not too distant future. That's got to make everybody a little bit better.
Well, even though he's got one of the better right-handed changeups in baseball, he's got to have more velocity than last time we saw him. He was throwing 8
to get all that tired out. And there's one of the best in the business, Don Cooper.
1983 White Sox cap presented by the Private Bank. The Private Bank, the bank for business.
They love to chew them up.
Oh, man.
Has been throwing the ball since that first inning just about as well as you could throw it. He's given
strikeouts.
That's his season high in strikeouts as he throws yet another screwball.
Yeah, and keep you in the ball game. Would you take it?
He'd have signed up for it without.
Not on that pitch, but he's had some pretty good pitches to hit tonight and just had not been able to put the bat on. And that's popped up. Paulie, he's got it. Paulie's just about as good as you want to see on those pop-ups. And meanwhile, what a job by Hector Santiago. Thank goodness for him, Dylan Axelrod. It's not just a good time, it is Miller time.
Well, things weren't going very well for Hector. He had given up a couple runs in the first inning, and then Don Cooper went to the mound to have a talk with him. Whatever it was he told him, he became absolutely unhittable after that. And this outing against a very tough Red Sox team was one of the best outings he's had in the major leagues when you consider how he started it.
Rios, Dunn, and Konerko. There's a pretty good hook. Outfielder straight up. Alex has walked, and then the horses, and you got some quarter horses, and then you got a stallion.
Stance and hand position. He hasn't stopped hitting yet.
But not this year, but last year in spring training. Manto was giving him a drill I've never seen done, almost in front of the hitter, off to it, in this case, off to Alex's right a little bit. And a swing, come back, swing, come back, swing, come back, swing, come back. And it gets you.
It's important for the ball club. It's a tough
at second.
Since game time, the temperature has dropped 9 degrees as the cool air moving into the Chicagoland area.
Alex 8 for 11 stolen bases, but Buchholz has a quick move with his feet to first, but then he long arms it. Well, Adam was looking for that fastball. He got it, and he just missed it. That's what you call a major league pop-up right there. So 1 out. And season tickets for the Sox are available right now. Prices for most plans have been greatly reduced. Purchase a season ticket plan to gain access to the best seats at the best price with the most benefits. WhiteSox.com or 312-674-1000. Here's Paulie. Paulie was robbed of a base hit and an RBI, maybe 2 back in the first inning on a beautiful play by Johnny Gomes in left field. Then he singles into left, leading off the 4th. That fastball, a little high neck in. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for their guys. 1 run, 5 hits, no errors for our guys. Decent lead by Rios. That breaking ball misses.
Jones and Amagroso. Amagroso up for the second time. We're going to see one of them, largely depending on if there's any more runs up on the board. If it's a tie game or our Sox take the lead, it'll most likely be Jones. I think he tried to cut it. It didn't cut, but it did have the zone.
Probably changes his action a little bit, not setting it.
And what he's done lately, as you can see.
Well, in Baltimore, Orioles beat the Yankees 6-3. Hamill. There he goes. Quick release. He gone.
You'll see how close it is at second, even though the ball beats him by plenty. The tag just gets him before the foot hits the bag. 2 good throws by Saltalamacchia tonight.
Right on the money, both of them.
And we've got a new pitcher. It is Brian Omogrosso. So the night is done for Hector Santiago. An outstanding job. There you look at Omogrosso on for the 5th time. 0-1 record, 5.79 ERA. And he faces the bottom 3 in the order.
Well, this is one of those games for Hector that you go over and you give him a big hug. Say, great job, big guy. Coming off on 3 days rest from his last start where he was wild. Started off this game shaky. And boy, after, as you mentioned, after Coop went out and they had their little chit-chat, he was unhittable.
He gave up 1 hit after that, 3 hits overall. Just an unbelievable performance.
Yeah. Yeah, these are moments like that you really, if things turn out well this year for us, what they have a chance to do is that ball hit deep in the left center field. And we got a man there. Middlebrooks is retired, 1 out.
Middlebrooks just ecstatic to see anybody but Santiago.
Know it.
He actually could get a swing at one.
But what Axelrod and Santiago have done for our ball club in the shape we've been in.
And Quintana, you might as well throw him in there because he's been terrific also.
You know, Quintana to be in that situation. Axelrod has gone out there, 9 times and had 6 outstanding outings. I remember a similar situation to a degree. Not so much in circumstance, but we came in here in 1967 to play the White Sox in that wonderful pennant race where we had the White Sox, Red Sox, Twins, and Tigers all within 1 game of each other for about 5 weeks. We came in here. We didn't have anybody to pitch. The Red Sox, we didn't have anybody to pitch. Nobody knew who was going to pitch that game. And it was a hot, muggy night at Old Comiskey Park. Dick Williams was the manager. He called for a meeting. We're all sitting in front of our lockers. And he goes over to Jerry
Rest.
And he says, Stevie, you got the ball for 9. Probably 170 pitches. We got beat by 11 or 12. All right. Beautiful play timing by Alexei.
No chance at all for Diaza, who was respecting the power of Drew. It was hit off the.
Saltalamacchia 0 for 2. He's glad to see Hector gone too. Santiago struck him out twice. There was a deli or an all-night, late-night restaurant there. Thanked him for going 9. And we wound up winning the pennant. So the 2-out single.
Big effort by Alejandro as he comes on. This one not hit real well either. Now it's in the glove, but unlike football, the ground can cause a fumble. And that one hit the ground. It was in the webbing of the glove and bounded away.
So here's Ellsbury. He's 1 for 2 with a single and a walk. Now make it 2 for 3. Alex quickly gets to it, gets it back in. And a reminder, first 20,000 fans on Saturday, June 8th will receive a 1983 White Sox t-shirt presented by U.S. Cellular, the exclusive wireless provider of our White Sox. Purchase your tickets today by visiting whitesox.com or 866-SOX-GAME. All right, here's Gomes. He's 0 for 2. He was hit by a pitch and scored back in the first inning.
This becomes another very big out.
Yes, it is. Backhanded, right over the top. And that'll do it. A good job by Amargoso. 7th inning stretch. We trail it by 1. It is from @BigDaddy Q33. Once we get the band back together, watch out American League Central. Our Sox have found a rhythm, and we're getting there. Big Daddy, we're getting there. When Beckham comes back.
Johnny Danks will be back.
Johnny Danks comes back. We will have a rhythm.
In the meantime, Buchholz has been good. And he's got the lead.
And he's got his pitch count down the last couple of innings. That curveball,
He's certainly been helped out by Jared Saltalamacchi, who's made 2 great throws to second base to cut down Diaza and Rios.
Yeah, those have been 2 big plays.
Pitch-wise, after 3, it didn't look great. But then he started to get a lot more economical.
And the 0-2 pitch. One out.
Went to the changeup, which has been a very good pitch for him. And he got him.
Actually, that changeup has been his best pitch tonight. He's been talking about setting everything else up. And, of course, dropping that good hook of his occasionally over hadn't helped him. I mean, hadn't hurt anything for him either. But for all our older fans out there, I was trying to think of the name of that restaurant I was talking about. It was Fritzl's. It's where we all used to go all the time. Great place. The 1-0. The ball high into left field. Gomes. And Sox fans, on Monday at 6:10, our Sox take on the Cubs. Also, the first 20,000 fans ages 21 and over will receive a White Sox Miller Lite beverage route. It's not just a good time, it's Miller time. Miller Lite, the official beer of our Chicago White Sox. Here's Keppinger. Grounded to short and had an infield single. Little swinging type bunt down third base way.
There's been 10 hits combined in this game. 9 singles, and in the first inning, that one ball against the wall by Pedroia, the only extra base hit, a double in the first.
The 1-1. I tell you, this 3-game series here, Saltalamacchia has looked just about as good as we've seen him behind the plate.
Well, he's blocked everything down. He didn't throw well the first couple of games, but he's thrown exceptionally well here tonight.
Well, that move of Buchholz has helped him out quite a bit. That ball hit into right field. They got a man there. And a quick 1-2-3 and he went to the 8th, trailing by 1. And 0 for their guys, 1-5-0 for our guys. There's Clay Buchholz, a young man with good stuff.
And Juan Nieves talking to him. Could very well be at his pitch count that would be it for him. And you would think that's the case because the bullpen up and going.
Bring them on. Don't care who it is. Bring them on. So here's Pedroia, 1 for 2, that double and run scored in the first inning.
I would assume if John Farrell goes like he usually does, he's going to be O'Hara. And now they have Andrew Bailey back. He's their closer. And it's Donnie Veal throwing in the pen. You got Nate Jones standing right next to him.
And a 2-0 count to Pedroia. That ball's killed. But we got a man there. That's a hang with 'em.
Just like we promised you earlier in the ball game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite, and here's our Miller moment, and it came early in this one. Big Papi, David Ortiz, dumping one into left field. It plated the 2 runs, giving him 31 for the year, and giving the Red Sox a lead that they still enjoy.
Well, the funny thing about it was Pedroia read that perfectly at second base. He knew where Tank was playing.
Never hesitated for one moment.
Not 1 second. Nope. And there are a lot of guys who would not have scored on that because they don't check their outfielders. And if he had not scored on that, they would have only scored 1 run that inning. Ortiz, new franchise leader in multi-homer games with 38. One ahead of Ted Williams.
It's Koji O'Hara.
Bottom of the 7th in Houston. Astros still leading Kansas City 2-1. They're underway now, playing in the bottom of the 6th at Cleveland, with the Tigers leading the Indians 9-6. And there's a base hit. So with 1 on 1 out, here's Napoli, who's walked twice and struck out. Breaking ball. Could not check it up. 1-1 to count. Now a 9-7 as Cleveland has just scored.
Those pitches are strikes, and Mike DeMuro tonight is having some problems calling the breaking ball. Now where Tyler catches it, it's low, but that came over the plate like the first one, a strike.
Well, there for a few years, the curveball was becoming a dinosaur.
It is a difficult pitch to call.
Yeah.
Probably the most difficult pitch to call.
Guys were having to change the tilt on them. They weren't getting them called for strikes. Everybody was, and it caused them to go more to sliders, and then they came up with splitters. And there's a base hit. So trouble brewing. And a reminder, stay connected to your Sox all season long. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Pin us on Pinterest. Add us to your circle on Google Plus and reblog our unique Tumblr content. Visit whitesox.com/connect. So here's Nava 0 for 3, but he is much better from this side of the plate. We cannot afford to give him any more runs. Pretty good pitch, didn't get it.
This one could have gone either way. It went Nava's way. Don Cooper calling down to the bullpen, which means that Tyler Flowers will take a walk out. They want to see if Nate Jones is ready to go. And I would think that they answered in the affirmative. Jones was up there tossing easily. I believe they're just killing as much time as Mike DeMuro is going to give him. And if he's not going to walk out there, they'll let Jones throw as many pitches as he can. Finally, Tyler Flowers starts to ease his way back. And here comes Robin. So Robin taking the long, slow walk to the mound. He's going to take as much time as he can before he points down to the bullpen to get Nate Jones. And he'll wait, give Nate probably another 5-6 pitches. You know, when the manager comes out and talks to the third baseman, that he's killing as much time as he possibly can, and now he does signal to the pen. That'll mean that Nate Jones is coming into this. So as Almagrosso departs and Nate Jones comes in, we'll step out and be back after these messages.
For live baseball everywhere you go, available for iPhone, iPad, Android, and BlackBerry 10. You can download At Bat now on the Apple App Store. Google Play, Kindle App Store, BlackBerry World, or text @BAT to 31826.
Our Honda call to the pen is Nate Jones, and he inherits some problems. There's only one out. Bases are loaded, and he'll be looking at Will Middlebrooks. 0-4 ERA, 5 3/4. The walks have been problematic. He's looking for the double play ground ball.
Outfield straight up, spread out about equidistant. Maybe a small gap out there in left center. Takes ball 1. Takes ball 2.
Not a great deal of speed on the base paths for the Red Sox.
And there's the strike. That ball lined in the right field. It's going to get 1 in. And it's a 3-1 ball game.
21st run batted in.
And a big run.
2-run deficit. Buckholz will leave the ball game. So got to come back against that very good Red Sox bullpen.
Runners at the corners, 2 down. Here's Stephen Drew, has struck out twice and was robbed of a base hit on a beautiful play by Alexei on a little looper into left field. Takes ball 1.
This ball was hit off the end of the bat, and Alexei turns around at the last instant, reaches up and grabs it.
And the count 2-0. Bottom of the 8th in Houston, still 2-1 Astros over Kansas City. And the count's 3-0. Second walk of the inning, and that'll load him up again. And here's Saltalamacchia, who struck out twice and singled.
Pretty impressive with the bases loaded, a .315 lifetime batting average. And he faces Jones from the side he likes to hit from, the left side.
Ball gets away, comes the runner. Safe. 4-1.
Napoli got a good jump. Otherwise, he's out at the plate. Take another look at it. Tyler Flowers backhands one, and it gets away. Take another look at it. Got to make that catch.
With one out, a couple of singles, the walk, sacrifice fly, another walk, now the wild pitch.
And that one hurt. Saltalamacchia fouled it straight off his foot.
That was a pass ball, not a wild pitch.
Right off the inside of the right leg. Wow. Looked like it caught him right above the ankle.
Ryan LeVarn way, other catcher. Two out, 1-2. Ducks on the pine. 4-7-0 for them, 1-5-0 for us. Just tuning in, Santiago did a great job for us tonight. 3 days rest after his last start. 6 innings. A little wild at first, then settled down, and boy, he was just awesome, striking out 9. As he gone, but the damage is done. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. It is a 4-1 Red Sox lead. Tweets with Sox Endgame Live only at csnchicago.com. Brought to you by Comcast Business Class.
Got a new pitcher in the ball game, so Buckholz goes 7, gives up just 1 run. In fact, there's 5 guys in that bullpen with
Al Buckholz lived up to everything we thought he was going to do, and he did it. long time from a right-handed pitcher. He's tough.
Now you can understand why he's 6-0.
Yeah, unless we can do something, he's going to go 7-0.
Yep.
But he has good stuff. He has a nice presence on the mound as well.
We saw Uhura first with Baltimore. Last year he was with Texas. 1.75 ERA in 37 appearances. Now he certainly found a home in the bullpen for the Red Sox.
Tyler fouls it back. He had an infield single and a strikeout. They scored 2 in the first and 2 in the eighth. Our run came in the third. As a hitter, you have got to get by these motions from the Asian pitchers.
He's got one of the most unique motions, and his stuff is adequate, but the deception is off the charts.
You got to get past the motion. You know, I asked the great Ted Williams about guys. Of course, they didn't have Asian pitchers back in those days here, but they had guys with some unusual motions.
They had them, but they were in Japan.
Yeah. And he said, you've got to get past the motion. I said, well, how you do that?
Well,
he says, you got to try to pick up the ball a little bit later. 1 out.
This is what makes Uhura so tough. I mean, that fastball has the middle of the plate, but if you can't pick it up, you can't hit it.
Here's Diaz. He's 1 for 2. A single, walk, and hit into a fielder's choice as he takes 89. It was outside the zone. And there's a changeup.
There's a look at Johnny Danks, who is raring to go. I talked with John before the game, and I asked him about the surgery. He said Anthony Romeo performed the surgery exceptionally well, told him approximately when he would be back and ready. Said he won't feel entirely 100%, probably till August, but he said he'll be able to pitch long before that, and that's exactly how it worked out. Monday, the Crosstown Cup is coming to Comcast Sportsnet. Get the most in-depth coverage of the city's favorite series right here on CSN as we bring you live to the ballpark for special pre-games and more. Watch the Crosstown Cup presented by The Great Escape on the network that celebrates your passion for the Sox all season long, Comcast Sportsnet.
That ball is hammered, but they got a man there. That didn't take long. We're into the ninth.
timeout for Sportsnet Central presented by GMC. Brian Urlacher hangs up the cleats. The Blackhawks hopes to rebound in Detroit. Don't miss Sportsnet Central tonight after postgame live only on Comcast Sportsnet.
Well, we got to get our guys going, and we got to get our Blackhawks going.
A must in both cases.
Yeah. So here is Kobe Ellsbury, 2 for 3, 2 singles and a walk. And it is a definite must that this young man can finish out the season uninjured. There's a strike and a count, 2-1.
There's a look at their closer, Andrew Bailey. Well, when we first saw him with Oakland, he had overwhelming stuff.
Oh, he was lights out.
In fact, they traded Josh Reddick for him. And Reddick has turned out to be the player that Boston thought he would be. Only he's doing it for Oakland. And Bailey has had numerous injuries for the Red Sox. When he's healthy, however, he still has great stuff.
Full count.
You put him on to lead off the inning, and it will not be a save situation.
Yanks that 95-mile-an-hour fastball foul. Jammed him, ate him up, and this ball is close with no cigar.
Connor goes about as close as he can, leaning into the camera well, but the ball just out of reach.
Well, this game tonight, though, Stevie, is one that when you get an effort like Santiago gave us tonight against a guy like Clay Buchholz, these are the kind of games you have got to find a way to win over the course of the season. Santiago comes out of nowhere with just 3 days rest and does a terrific job. And that's out of play.
No, he gave you enough to win this game.
Sure he did. It's just like Dylan Axelrod has given us enough to win a lot of games, which we have not won. So we have wasted some terrific efforts from our starting pitching.
Well, we said it at the time, so it's not necessarily in hindsight, but that first inning, when Buchholz sat so long as Santiago was struggling, there was a base hit and 2 walks. Now, Diaza was thrown out, but that inning, for one of the few innings of the night, Buchholz was vulnerable. He didn't have his control. He didn't have his curveball yet because he didn't throw any. And we came away empty in that inning. And then, of course, after that, it was 4 singles, 1 run that scored on a ground ball in the infield, and that was it. Buchholz was just too tough, but we had our shot.
So there's the leadoff walk. Well, yeah, in the 4th inning, you could see him. He was starting to like his curveball a lot. He had his change, and he had his fastball, the great movement on it and everything else. And after the 4th inning, we had no chance against him. The only thing we could hope for is get his behind out of there and get somebody from that bullpen in.
But he wound up throwing a whole lot of pitches very effectively. And now it's trying to hold him right there to 3-run deficit with one of the league's best base stealers at first.
That fastball at 97 to Johnny Gomes. 0 for 3. He was hit by a pitch first inning and came around to score. I like that little move that Ellsbury's giving down there. Turning his shoulders like he is definitely taking off. And there's a base hit, so the leadoff walk. And we're in trouble once again. Right now, Nate's just a one-pitch pitcher, and he's having trouble with the one pitch.
If he can't locate it, and he's had a hard time doing that, whether it's the Red Sox, who are an exceptional fastball hitting team, or any other team, if they know you have one pitch and you can't dot the I with it in and out, up and down, then your chances are pretty limited as to what you can do.
Yeah, the Red Sox are one of the better fastball hitting teams in the American League. Here's Pedroia. And this is their best fastball hitter. Takes that pitch for a strike. Pedroia, that first inning double. He's 1 for 3. Last time up, he just hit a bullet into left field for an out. There's a breaking ball strike. Yeah. First one.
See the knees buckle on Pedroia. Wasn't expecting it, and he took it right down the middle.
It's amazing what getting a breaking ball over, how much that'll put a brain cramp in your hitter's head.
Throws that slider on the outside corner, and he's got him. And here comes Robin. So Robin says, Donnie Veal, come on down. And we'll step out and be back after these messages.
Donnie Veal.
Veal. It's his second go around this year, and Veal 1-0 with an ERA way up there. 10 hits and 6 2/3. The 8 walks are what sent him to the minor leagues originally. He's going to face David Ortiz. Runs to first and second, 1 out here in the 9th inning. And there's some dancing little folks enjoying the ballpark, if not the score. So Ortiz, 2 for 4. A couple of runs batted in. His first stolen base in a year and a half, that coming in the first inning. Grounded into a double play in the third. And a robust .355 batting average with 31 driven in. Outfield straight away. Very deep for Big Papi. And that fastball misses up and in. That's been one of the big problems with Donnie Veal. Coming out of the bullpen, the inability to throw strike one. It sets up pretty aggressive at bat for any hitter. And he misses with a breaking ball. It's 2-0. This is where the big boys start to squeeze the sawdust out of the bat, looking for anything straight. Fouls that one off over the dugout. The count moves to 2-1. Four runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Red Sox. 1 run, 5 hits, no errors for our Sox. Line drive center field, well hit, but Diaza coming on. He makes the catch. What a play by Alejandro on a sinking line drive. Robs Ortiz of his third hit and freezes the base runners right there. This ball is hit like a bullet. Diaza came on, caught it right below the knee. And 1 out to go. Man who's having a great year, David Ortiz. Mike Napoli, 1 for 2 with a couple of walks. He singled and scored last inning. That breaking ball misses outside. Napoli with 35 runs batted in. They brought him in as one of the guys they considered a character guy. That was one of the things that the Red Sox concentrated on, was bringing in a different look into that clubhouse. And so far for them, it's worked pretty well. And the count goes to 2-0. Red Sox came into this one 27-19. They've been especially tough on the road. 14-9 coming in. This is just the second road series they've lost all year. And the count goes to 3-0. So with Navi in the on-deck circle, he'll come to bat from the right side. You have to figure that Napoli's going to get the 3-0 green light. And he walked him. So that's going to load him up.
Nine walks tonight.
First 4 by Santiago. He had a hard time at the beginning, but the bullpen has walked 5. And with the bases loaded over the course of his very young career, Nava's been awfully tough. 0 for 3 with a walk tonight. And Veal misses again outside. Time now for our AT&T Uverse Multiview. Just adequate speed aboard. That evens the count at 1-1. That fastball in the zone. 21,298 here tonight. They've seen the temperature drop in this one 15 degrees since game time. Count moves to 2-1. .56 degrees this game. Over the 3-hour mark. Line drive, base hit. That's going to score a pair. Here comes a throw off the mark. And when you walk the leadoff man, and it was Jacoby Ellsbury, you have to figure that they're going to score. Fastball up and out over the plate. A rocket to left field for Nava. RBIs number 28 and 29. So it's a 6-1 game. And the Red Sox looking like they're going to escape town, winning 1 of 3. Will Middlebrooks steps up and looks at a breaking ball for a strike.
Well, here's where baseball rationale comes into play. And you got to have it. I mean, there's just it's not something that's just out there. You've got to have it. And you got to, in this case, you say, well, before they got here, would you take 2 out of 3 from Boston?
And the answer would be absolutely.
Absolutely. And that's what you got to have a short memory in baseball as a player.
Well, Boston,
especially pitchers.
Boston came into this series the best road team in the American League. So you figure taking 2 out of 3 is pretty good, but when you win the first 2, you get greedy.
And then you have to start rationalizing.
Well, yeah. You take one positive out of the game, it was a performance by Santiago.
Yeah. And that's what you do. When you lose the last, it's tough to sweep anybody. I don't care if it's Pittsburgh, I don't care if it's Boston, I don't care if it's any Valdosta State. It's tough to sweep anybody.
Well, knowing you were going to come in number 1, and we didn't know coming in that Chris Sale was not going to start this one. That's number 1. Number 2, you're going to have a series where you're going to face Lester and Buchholz on either end of the series, both 6-0 coming in. So, all in all, it'll be a good series, especially when you consider that Sale couldn't go tonight. We're looking forward to that pitching matchup, but you can't take a chance on hurting your number 1. And that's exactly what the Sox decided to do by putting Santiago in, and he gave them more than they expected.
No question about it.
That one fouled off, and the count stays at 3-2.
Yeah, well, but the negatives are here is just the base on balls from the bullpen. That's what the negatives are. Positive is Santiago.
But we have found this year, overwhelmingly in the games where we come in second, it's been because of walks out of that bullpen. That one popped up. It's going to stay in play, but not high enough. And it bounces out, and Middlebrooks stays alive. Don Cooper with that pitch counter. You see it in his right hand. And he's clicked it many times tonight. There's been a lot of pitches thrown between Santiago, Omagroso, Jones, and now Veal. Runners going, and the easy force out at third. So it's a 6-1 game as we head into the bottom of the 9th inning with a lot of work to do. It's Andrew Bailey coming in the game with a 1-0 record, a 1.46 ERA, and he's on for the 14th time. Now, he's a closer of this team. John Farrell is manager. A pitching coach himself before he became a manager with Toronto, and now Boston realizes that when you get your closer up and ready to go, you really don't want to shut him down and then ask him to get up again tomorrow. So he comes in. He needs some work. He's just coming off the disabled list. And there you look at Juan Nieves and John Farrell.
And while we have a moment, our heartfelt wishes and sympathy go out to the family and friends of Richard Baum Sr., who are gathering to remember his life. He was a lifelong Sox fan, and his favorite phrase, well, he gone. So, Richard Baum Sr., you will be remembered, buddy.
Alex Rios to lead it off. He extended his hitting streak in the 6th inning. He's 1 for 2 with the only that run we have batted in the 3rd. That fastball misses up. And he throws that fastball at 95 miles an hour right by him. That one pops straight up. Middlebrooks makes the play. So 1 out here in the 9th inning. And that'll bring up Adam Dunn. Adam 0 for 3 tonight, a couple of strikeouts and a pop-up. Our Sox have managed just 5 hits, all singles, a couple of the infield variety. Bailey got to the major leagues originally in 2009 with Oakland. He had a 1.84 ERA in 68 games, and he throws a fastball for a strike. That first year in the major leagues, he had 110 strikeouts in 110 innings. And he misses up with a fastball. Originally selected by the Brewers in the 16th round. Later selected by Oakland in the 6th round of 2006, and that's when he signed. That one fouled straight back, and the count goes to 1-2. There's a look at the career numbers. 86 saves, a very good lifetime ERA of 2.41. Records for a closer don't matter very much. The shift is on, and a ground ball right into that shift. Easy play at first, and there are 2 out. Paul Konerko 1 for 3. Hit a line drive in the 1st inning. That ball probably the hardest hit ball that our Sox have had tonight, but unfortunately it was right at Johnny Gomes. Then a base hit leading off the 4th, and he struck out in the 6th. Outfield shading Paul around toward right center, and he hits it way back. That ball's gone. A no-doubter for Paul Konerko, his 5th of the year, his 18th driven in. And that was a rocket. So it makes it a 6-2 game. And gives those left of the 21,298 something feeling pretty good to go home with. Our Ford home run replay. It's a fastball, and it's way back. This one over the bullpen. Not much doubt about it. Dan Viciedo looks at a fastball for a strike. 2 for 4 for Paul. Home run number 427. Ties him with Mike Piazza for 44th all time. And Viciedo now in an 0-2 hole. He struck him out. The game in the series is over. The Red Sox win it 6-2. Santiago the loser, Buchholz the winner. Our GMC player of the game is Hector Santiago, who after a rough first had just a terrific outing. 6 innings, gave up only 3 hits, a couple of runs. He fanned 9 and walked 4. It's his season high in strikeouts. So for my partner Ken Harrelson, our director Jim Angio, our producer Mike Leary, our associate producer Dave Ross, our technical manager Mark Harper, and for the executive producer Jim Corno Jr., I'm Steve Stone saying so long everybody. You've been watching Chicago White Sox baseball on Comcast Sportsnet.